don't let you be your biggest enemy. What I mean by that is us as people, we let our mind get control of us. We let our emotions get the best of us. We got to learn how to control our emotions. This is something that we wasn't taught in school. They wasn't teaching us in school. Your parents wasn't teaching you that if you didn't have parents that knew how to control their emotions. I was someone who had parents that didn't know how to control their emotions, who was really emotional. So what happened to me, I became emotional as a kid, and it took a lot of fucking work for me to learn how to be emotionally intelligent, how to learn how to control my mind. What am I thinking on a day-to-day basis? Like how to can like eliminate those negative thoughts, because most of the time all this negative thoughts and all this like anxiety that you have is mostly because how you were brought up as a kid. You got to go think back to how you was raised and brought up as a kid. What was your parents feeding into your brain? What was your surroundings like? This is why I guarantee you, is majority of the reason why you're like this, that whether you have anxiety, whether you can't control your emotions, whether you don't know how to really control your mind and know how to just go into not thinking so much. Like we overthink, we overanalyze things a lot because we wasn't taught this as kids. We wasn't taught this in the school system, and we have to figure it out through trial and error. Like, so when you see niggas crash out over their woman, or you see a young nigga crashing out because a nigga stepped on his shoe or called him out his name or something, they're ready to crash out and go to jail for forever, just because they just didn't have a little emotional intelligence about themselves and really understand, like, I gotta really be aware of my emotions. I gotta really be aware of the energy I'm giving out, because that shit is important, bro. Like, we don't realize just how you carry yourself, the energy you have, whether it's towards yourself or towards other people. That shit matters, bro. Like, things come back to haunt you when you don't got the right energy about yourself, when you can't really learn how to control your thoughts into positive thoughts, into like setting an intention on what you want. But see, we don't do that, bro. Like, we use our mind for thinking that all the bullshit that happened to us in the past is gonna happen to us in the future. So we like contradicting ourselves of thinking that it's gonna be a cycle. We don't want this to happen. We don't want that to happen. But we're thinking about it. We think about the bad things that we don't want to happen. And what happens? It happens to us. So you gotta understand that, bro, thoughts is powerful. Words is powerful. You gotta understand you can't be just downing yourself like that. And a lot of times the niggas that's down in themselves, it's probably because they had somebody else down in them. And you know what I'm saying? Like putting them down and stuff like that. So they really believe in their head that they might be worthless, or they, are not of value in society. But that's not their thoughts. If you have depression, if you have anxiety, if you have these negative beliefs and it's making you depressed, just know that that's not your thoughts. That's not you, bro. That's what happened in the past, and you still holding on to it. That's why I say you gotta sometimes go into solitude. Sometimes you gotta go into isolation and do some fucking soul searching so you can figure out who you are as a person. Because a lot of times we don't even know who we really are. That's why when we have like all these fucking crazy thoughts about I want to do this, I want to do that, we don't know who we are, because we around so many motherfuckers that got other things going on in their life. So we just like dibbling dabbling into so many different things, trying to be in the mix, trying to get a little bit of validation from somebody who don't really care about you. Like, so you gotta really learn how to do some soul searching and figure out, what do I have to do to better myself and my emotions and my thoughts? How do I like kill these negative beliefs that I have? It's gonna be hard, bro. It's a process to really try to like reprogram your mind and just transform your whole self into somebody different. It's gonna take time, but it's possible. But a lot of times people don't think it's possible to get out of their current circumstances or their current situation, when it's really possible. But you gotta really be conscious of what you're thinking, bro. You gotta be conscious of the energy that you have in your body, because when you have a fucked up aura to yourself, everything is just gonna be fucked up. It's really towards niggas too. When they be young niggas too, like a lot of young niggas don't know how to control their emotions. I'm still having problems with it. You see me, like, this was out of frustration. Like, I'm not even gonna get into that story, but I hit something out of frustration because I let my emotions get the best of me. And I shouldn't have done that. And that's why I did this video, because I'm like, damn, like, I talk about all this stuff, but I gotta live by it too. I gotta really live, like, learn, like, live by what I'm saying, because sometimes my emotions get the best of me. Sometimes I be ready to take a motherfucking head off sometimes when I get to that point. But I gotta learn how to, you know, have some stoicism to myself and be able to think like, okay, is it worth it? Is it worth me letting my anger out and getting out of my character? It's not, because what's the results? Now I got a fucked up hand and I gotta wait for this to heal. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta understand that emotional intelligence is important, because think about how many niggas is in prison or in jail because they let their emotions get the best of them. Now, I'm not saying that if you got morals and you gotta, you gotta stand on your shit, then you gotta do what you gotta do. But a lot of times people be, putting themselves in bad positions just because they didn't let they let their emotions get the best of them. Like, whether it was a female talking to them crazy, or whether it was another nigga challenging them, or whether it was whatever, they parents telling them that they ain't shit. It's a lot of people that's like just going through mental slavery right now that really just can't get out of their own head, that really just always in the past, worrying about the future, just never can really be present with what they gotta do right now. What's the next step I gotta do right now? What I'm going through right now. Like, that's what's causing your anxiety. You so focused on, I gotta build my future. If you have an intention on what you want, you don't gotta worry about what the future holds for you. If you really, believe in yourself, that's what I'm saying. You gotta believe, bro. And I feel like this is so underrated. Like, saying, like, you gotta believe in yourself. You gotta be overly confident in yourself, because nobody else is gonna give you the confidence you gotta give to yourself. Nobody's gonna believe in you like you should be believing in yourself. So if you looking for somebody else to believe in you, if you looking for somebody else to validate you, you already lost, bro. You already lost, especially if you play sports. If you looking for somebody else to validate you and give you confidence, you already lost in sports. Like, you gotta have a type of, I ain't gonna say arrogance, but you gotta have a type of humble cockiness to yourself. If that even makes sense. You gotta be humble and cocky at the same time, because that confidence is gonna let other people know that he's on to something. You know what I'm saying? He's not just playing around. He's actually serious. I could tell. Like, sometimes, even if you don't believe that in your heart, sometimes you just gotta act like it. You gotta be an actor and just act like you confident and act like you the person you want to be. But a lot of people is afraid to do that. A lot of people's afraid to act like the person they really want to be, because they gonna get judged by their peers. They gonna get judged by the people they around. But if you getting judged for being who you truly want to be from the niggas that you around, then you definitely gotta remove yourself from that circle, because y'all should all be, you should be in a circle where y'all all trying to like do something. Like, it might not always align with what you got to do and what they got to do, but if y'all all working towards, self-development and doing something with y'all lives, then it shouldn't even be no hating. It shouldn't be no jealousy or envious or anything like that, because y'all all working together. But if you the only one working on yourself, trying to better yourself, and you still around niggas that's not doing that, it's going to be some jealousy. It's like, that's human nature. Don't think that, why these niggas hating on me? You the only one trying to do something. Like, you would put yourself in the opposite position. If you wasn't doing something and somebody else is better in their life and you see them progressing, you probably gonna feel some type of way. So you gotta understand these things, bro. Like, it'll frustrate you, the fact that none of this shit was taught to us. None of this shit. How we have to really think about the things that go into our mind, and that's really causing our reality. What we're thinking is causing our reality. Our emotions is causing our, body to feel different and stuff like that. You gotta really do some studying on, yourself. You know what I'm saying? Study your stuff. Read some books on things that you need to get better at. But a lot of niggas not trying to do that shit. Like, that's corny to like self-develop yourself and like to elevate yourself. That's corny to like read a book and learn about yourself. Like, I don't understand that, because a lot of people is dealing with bullshit from they don't know how to control their emotions with women. They thought patterns is all fucked up. Like, they not a critical thinker. You gotta learn how to be a critical thinker, bro, and think outside the box. Not saying you gotta be this motherfucking Einstein nigga, but you gotta learn how to not always take what somebody give you. Like, you gotta really be like, okay, is this right? You know what I'm saying? Be a critical thinker. Learn how to control your emotions. Be, have some sort of intelligence about yourself, because that's gonna help you in society. Nobody else is gonna fucking help you, bro. Nobody's gonna help you get to where you wanna go. The only time they're gonna help you is when they figure you got your shit already, popping and stuff. When you already got some motion going on, then they're gonna offer a helping hand. But nobody's just gonna help you reach your dream just because you got, you trying to do something now. Like, no, you gotta prove yourself, bro. You gotta really fucking go hard, bro. You gotta go fucking hard and like not quit. Because the niggas that's successful, the niggas that's great, all the great niggas out there, they was the ones that did not quit when they was failing. They was the ones that wasn't quitting when they was getting doubted. So when you starting to quit, just understand it's gonna come some consequences with you quitting. But we are not okay with that uncomfortableness. Like, we don't want to feel uncomfortable that we're failing at something, or we gotta like, take the time to get better at something. We want things so quick because that's what society is. Society is making everybody not want to be independent. Why do you think it's all this shit? Uber, somebody pick you up, somebody take your food, get your, like, all this shit is making you to where you don't want to be independent. So you got to understand what's going on in fucking society, bro. And you got to really figure out, how can I make myself my own boss? How can I make myself to where the economy is not fucking me up? I can still be good even if the economy is fucked up. I'm still straight. You got to get yourself to that point, bro. But the first things you got to do is learn how to be emotionally intelligent and learn your thoughts, bro. Really be in tune with what you're thinking. And I guarantee you it's going to help your life.